So, let's just get right into it. We're going to be covering a lot of material. So, the first thing we want to talk about is this book that you're sitting all over the place. What is the Laws of Consciousness? And you really have to read the book. So, these videos are not a substitution for reading the book, by no means. What they are is a guide through certain parts of the book and the general concepts, so that when we talk about things in these videos, you will know what we mean. You'll know what we mean when you say the word consciousness or intelligence or knowing or perspective. Those terms which have, meanings that are widely known, are used very specifically in this case. So we're going to expand on what you know about these terms, but we're also going to show you them in a different way. So when we use these words, you'll know exactly what we mean. The first word is consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness is the intelligent substance of possibility. And I know that probably sounds like, well, what? But let's back up for a little bit. What do you think of when you normally think of consciousness? You think of your experience as a conscious being. You think about what we call the 0 point, that place in the middle of your mind, which seems to be experiencing reality as you know it. So what is reality in that question? Simply, reality is the experience of existence. Whatever this thing is that you're experiencing right now, that's what reality is. So the question then becomes, how does your reality square with all the other realities that all the other consciousnesses are experiencing? And is there a through line between all of our experiences? And the answer to that question is yes. So that's the bigger definition of consciousness. It starts off with the reality that you're experiencing, the mind that's up there, and that experience, and then the collective experience of everyone. And that's not just the things that we think of as conscious, like people, but it also gets into the very fabric of existence itself. The entire universe is a consciousness, is an intelligence that manifests itself in the ways that we experience as reality. So when we say consciousness is the intelligent substance of all that exists, think of reality as a giant sea of information and energy, like a pool, like a fluidic substance. And what we have in reality are things that have come out of that mass of energy, that intelligence, and it's entertaining us in this beautiful, beautiful way. So that's a short introduction to consciousness, and there are two terms that you need to understand when you're looking at consciousness. It has to do with perception. The ultimate reality versus the relative reality. So the ultimate experience of existence versus the relative experience of existence. And simply put, the ultimate experience is the experience we all share. It's the one that is consequential to all of us. We all say we're humans. We all say that we live on the planet Earth, or we're in the year 2021. Those are what we call ultimate realities. In other words, those realities exist regardless of how we personally perceive them. But then again, we also have this thing called the relative reality, like your own personal experience of the Earth and being a human and being in the year 2021. And what the laws of consciousness is going to do is it's going to teach you how to navigate so that your ultimate reality is a true reflection of the relative reality. In other words, that what's going on in your mind actually lines up with what's actually going on around you. And what you're going to find is that there's this beautiful ability that when you align with who you are, and you align with you align with certain principles, you will be able to take the reality that is in your mind and affect the reality beyond. What you're going to discover is that you are your ultimate reality, that you're sitting in the seat of God with your consciousness. But you have to understand how to first differentiate between your experience of reality and the parts of reality that you're going to experience, whether you're aware of it or not. So, read the first section of the book that talks about the nature of reality. Okay, and this is going to get you into starting to understand consciousness. It's going to get you into understanding ultimate versus relative. And then later on, we'll talk about, how to get into some of the details and differentiating, and we'll go into some different parts of the book.
Yeah, that's that's amazing, but that's definitely what we recommend, to read the first half, get into, because in the first half it does an amazing job sort of just breaking down the sort of base constituents of reality.
Mhm.
And you get into a daunting book like the laws of consciousness, the first part, it becomes amazingly important because it helps us organize between, you know, our ultimate realities and our relative realities. What things are, what components of reality are more ultimate than relative? What can I do to bring myself back into alignment with, you know, my manifestation abilities? And because that's really what it helps you do. It helps you begin to learn how to manifest better for yourself, how to work with this broader intelligentsia of the universe that's also working with you, and understanding the sort of dynamics between you and that, and maximizing that, not for the highest results. And it's a very intellectual experience, but at the same time it is a clear read. It's an amazing read. You'll love it.
Yeah.